Hey, it's Jordan. I am joined by David Bethia, gentleman from Detroit, and he is one of the Bernie Sanders supporters who, frankly, CNN was trying to block from supporting Bernie Sanders in front of their cameras. As you know, Status Quo broke a story a few days ago where CNN, if you were watching CNN on air the night of Bernie versus Elizabeth Warren, the first night of the debates, it really looked like there were no Bernie Sanders supporters there. And it seems, judging by the conversations I've had with multiple Sanders supporters, that was by design. So first, want to ask you, tell me about yourself. You're from Detroit. How'd you get involved with Bernie? And, tell me chronologically what happened that night as far as you trying to get entry and other Bernie Sanders supporters trying to get entry.
Well, I got involved with the Bernie Sanders campaign back in 2016 when he was running, and I was still actually supporting him. I was kind of like a Bernie or bust, kind of, but back then it was a little hard to fight for him because it was kind of more his policies was radical back then, they say, and it was too left, and now it seemed like these are the policies everybody running off of now. And I just think we got so many Democrats running now just to block Bernie and watch down his message. But we still standing strong. But I want to get to what happened at the party because it made me sick to my stomach when at the viewing when I first got there. I got there early, like 3:10, 3:20 ish.
When you say got there, you're talking about
Down.
the
Uh,
theater where the debate was on one side of the street, and on the other side of the street is what they call like the visibility zone,
yeah,
and
I got.
that's the section where everybody's supporters, whether you're Warren, Bernie, whoever, can go in, stand in this section, and hold your signs up. And when CNN goes to commercial or comes back from commercial, they're showing all the candidate supporters waving their signs.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Getting ready. Just walking around seeing. Then I'm like, I don't even think I see any Biden supporters. But next thing you know, I just see Biden signs everywhere, even inside the visibility zone where people weren't even in that. It wasn't even people in there yet, like that. We had Marion Wilson supporters out. Uh, there was another Amy. I forgot her last name, and
Klobuchar. Yeah.
I was just like, I understand, but it was just kind of like, all right, whatever. Maybe I'm just tripping because in 2016 I'm a little bit paranoid of how CNN and how corporate media is playing him, especially with the slurs that he's getting lately. With the lady saying, "Oh, he make my skin crawl," without nobody's checking her or correcting her or asking her why or telling her to stick to policy or anything. So it's just attack, attack, attack. So I'm just thinking I'm just paranoid. Okay, I'm walking around, I'm meeting people. I did a couple of interviews, uh, and then about 5:20, the Bernie Sanders supporters show up. I see a dude waving himself down with a Bernie sign. I'm like, oh, where y'all been? You know, and I see Mel and I forgot the other girl name, but I saw them too. And I was like, I'm a volunteer. Blah blah blah. We introduced ourselves. I was the guy passing out signs. You can actually see me on the news holding up the sign like real high. Because it was hard for our people to get in. They said we can't get in with the signs. Uh, we couldn't get in with the shirts, and they didn't know who I was going for because I had a black tee on. It was just a regular black t-shirt, blue jeans. Nobody. It wasn't obvious. But when I started passing out the signs, they start they started to look at me different and started to give our people a hard time and trying to move us out. And it's like, man, I'm just so paranoid because it seemed like these people was rented. These people who were sharing for Warren and Williamson. I'm not saying that she don't have real supporters, but I swear it's just like they just had we was real authentic. Bernie Sanders supporters just came up. We were just regular people, but they had cheers and this and that and shirts. They all came in together and they had no problem doing it. But if somebody come in with a field of burn sign, they giving them, oh, you can't come in with that. Oh, you got to go around this way, and go around this way, and they end up back by the freeway or end up back on the other side of Woodward. That's what I'm like. Maybe we was paranoid, but then it just kept happening, and we just looking at each other. Me and Mel looking at each other like, this is not just a coincidence. This is planned because it would make sense for them. Excuse me. It would make sense for them to block Bernie supporters, especially in Michigan and in Detroit of all places, especially with him saying, oh, he's not in favor of reparations, and that's really hit him hard with his black voters, and especially in black cities because they want their reparations, and it's election time and people talking about it. I wouldn't trust Bernie if he said yes to reparations because he never fought for it. I never heard him say it. So I know it would have just been a talking point of him trying to look good to black people and get that black vote. But no, he like, I'm gonna just stick to this is what we need to do. Build a foundation first before we just throw money at everything. We can't throw money at everything because it just don't fix the problem. You gotta,
So during this time, because I've heard from you and many other Bernie Sanders supporters that the police were basically giving you the guys the runaround, sending people to the other corner. They go to the other corner. That corner's barricaded. And were you seeing anyone else, like people wearing Warren shirts, people with Warren signs or Williamson signs or Biden signs? Were they having the same problems you guys were having?
No. Actually, the Williamsons, they went out of the cage, walked around the whole street with their signs and their shirts and their chants, and walked back in, like, no problem. It was like, and we're just looking at it like, okay, we're just gonna do our best. Try to get these people in. I'm gonna pass out the signs, make sure they can see us, make sure people doing interviews and not scared to talk about, and keep it on policy because I even did one interview with two guys and they tried to hit me with a gotcha question about the salaries that what's going on in the Bernie Sanders campaign, and they like, oh, Bernie trying, it's a lot of whatever. I'm just like, no, that's something to do with the union and blah blah. Just got to keep it straight and keep it sharp with them because they be like, oh, well, how he's gonna do this, and after that they just walked off.
And did the police explain why you couldn't come in with signs? Because I spoke with another Bernie supporter who told me that the police had said, when some of the Bernie supporters were saying, why are you giving us a hard time? The campaign, here's the email, the campaign told us to come here. And they were told, take it up with CNN. As if CNN had told the police, don't let these people with these specific shirts in or these specific signs. Did you hear any of that? Did the police explain why they were not letting you in?
I mean, the police actually stopped me because I was walking around, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of, I had on a black tee. It was hot as hell. Like, what the hell is he walking around for? There's a lot of important people here. So I understood that. But they even checked me, and I had showed them my RSVP. They kind of gave me a hard time, but I was already there for like an hour or two. So he was like, all right, and I don't know about anybody else, but if they was to kick me out of there, I would have probably protested.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been staying in Detroit my whole life. I'll be damned. I don't care about CNN or whatever the fuck they pay for. Because when they leave, we got to take care of it. We got to pay taxes.
So, because it visibly, Warren people seem to be in there with very big signs.
Hell yeah.
And Bernie people were like in the corner of the screen with tiny mini signs.
Man, that's what I was trying my hardest to lift that sign, because as soon as Williamson people left, it was like a cycle. It was like they scooted out with each other or something. It was just like, I don't know. They somehow took their spots and they waving. Man, them signs was huge. they was really showing support, but them signs was used. They did blur us out, and we just blocked behind. It was so funny because the CNN camera can go above that CNN sign. And
The CNN logo.
yeah, the logo. It can go way above it and look down and flip the camera, whatever. And it's just like they just like, but you know,
So let me tell my viewers. So, like right now, I'm showing my viewers on screen. They start on the left. You see huge numbers of Warren supporters, big signs. You know, Warren supporters were allowed in with these big signs. Bernie supporters weren't. So to anyone watching, they would think, "Oh wow, Warren has all the mojo out here."
right,
And then you,
right.
yeah, then you see like 2 or 3 Biden people out there, and then like in the corner behind that logo, they seem to, you know, coincidence, they put Bernie supporters right behind a massive logo, which you could barely see them.
Right.
And you're saying that you saw the camera, and it definitely could have went higher to show you guys. So you're basically saying they were intentionally cutting away from you guys.
And we knew it was gonna have to be a fight, and everybody had to fight for that little spot. They made what kind of got me is why did they make that spot so small anyway? You know, because the cages, it was enough for them to make it like one more, so everybody can fit in. But they made it like I forget the shape, but they made it like a triangle kind of, so only certain like 10 people can fit right here. But they could have made it to what all of us fit right there, and everybody can, you know, in case it was a packed house.
And were there designated areas like Warren people go here?
No, it was people can walk around and do whatever. It was so much space because they was blocking so many people. And it was so many it was so many of our people just blocked. Couldn't come in, kept on texting and trying to show their RSVPs and you know, and saying I'm like, oh man, maybe they need to change clothes or you know, just how they burn their shirt under their
And for people to understand, there was a Green New Deal rally down the street, and
yeah,
those people came to this area, and a
yeah.
lot of those people, I mean, I wasn't there, but a lot of those people were Bernie supporters.
Yeah, and I was passing out. Man, almost all of them wanted a Bernie sign. And there's one we was even cracking jokes. You know, what this lady say? She was like, "Can I pay you for it?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna take it out of your taxes and whatever and blah blah." But she, you know, we're just all having fun. They was like, "No, no, 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 go that way," because it was the TYT shirt signs and Bernie Sanders signs and all kind of new Green Deal signs. Man, we had the whole Woodward locked down. I'm surprised. Like they should have. That was a helicopter shot. That could have been a nice helicopter shot that they could have got, but their biasness is gonna, you know, it's gonna cost them because the young viewers is not gonna watch CNN. They're gonna see the biasness growing up, and they're gonna be like, yeah, y'all know different from Fox News, really, especially during times.
And I want to just be clear to clarify. You saw Warren people could come and go easily. Same thing with Biden people. Same thing with Williamson. Was any other were the supporters of other candidates getting blocked and this treatment by the police?
No, no, nobody had a bad time. Like I said, the Williamsons, they rallied around the street, and you know everybody came in with their big signs, with their shirts, with their Biden shirts, and this one white boy, excuse me, he out here, he loud, you know, he for Biden and whatnot. He can get stuff done. We just like, you know, whatever.
So
But
when you're experiencing this treatment before the debate, where it seems like CNN, to me, from everything I've been told by multiple people, it seems like cops weren't doing this on their own. It seems like they said, take it up with CNN. We're just following what we were told. Then you watch the debate, and obviously the moderators, I mean, what did you think? It seemed to me they were basically giving talking points from health insurance companies and
pretty sure you can rent cops, you know, and just tell them like, look, I don't want too many of them. Don't let them get too deep, you know. Make it look like Bernie only got, you know, this and that, even though he's polling well in Michigan, polling well in Detroit. Make it look like he don't have supporters that will actually show up and vote. and show up and show physical support and let their voices be heard. So that I think that's their thing, to just downplay them and just downplay us, to make it look like the young vote don't matter, because they try to downgrade the millennial vote so much because they so scared of our power, and they try to get people to tell us, oh, our vote don't matter, and oh, it they're gonna do what they want and this and that. They got people scared to fight, but our parents still vote, their parents still vote. It must be doing something, because every time they do vote for these people, look what happened. They cut into their Social Security. They cut into all they no. So they trying to downplay the young vote and act like we don't exist because they're scared of our power. And we know we have. They know we have the power, the voting power of this election, like we did last election, and we is way more. We way more louder now than 2016. Even if Bernie did lose some of his supporters because I'm gonna just be blunt. A lot of people want to see a woman president. A lot of progressive women, and I know some personally. And but it's I don't know. It's a bit whatever. But the whole thing, they just trying to keep Bernie out because he's too far left for them, and none of his policies it don't benefit the rich. So why would they, support him or give him fair news coverage when he gonna be cutting their paychecks and cutting into the people money who paid them. So of course it's gonna have a butterfly effect, and it's gonna stop them from getting money. So hell yeah, stop them while you can.
And I've heard some other people say what happened the other night, which basically you have CNN intentionally freezing out one campaign supporters from even being able to cheer, or their cameras cutting away to avoid showing those supporters. Kind of reminds them of what happened in 2016. Does it feel that way for you?
Yeah, and actually, I think you personally personally should watch out for CNN. Look what they did to David Packman, man.
Hey,
It's just
buddy. Hey, you've been paying attention? They already filed a copyright against us. We couldn't go live for 3 months.
oh yeah, yeah. And you see, time go by so, and they just make people forget. But I've been a fan. I've been subscribed for years, man, because I was like, man, this is I like him. I like. Oh, I was like, oh, if I was a reporter, this I'll be in your face just like this.
Uh,
This how, yeah,
Thank
I
you.
like. No, but I was like, man, this shit it's just so crazy how they trying to stop, not just stopping progressives, they stopping conservatives, they stopping, because I see it happening to a lot of people, to a lot of YouTubers, and they just they want to fight, and I believe it's time to fight. It's time for y'all to fight. Kyle Kalinske from Secular Talk, you know, from all y'all. Everybody just need to get together and just fight, because we can't let them win. It's a new era, and they so scared. They dinosaurs. They dinosaurs. They passing policies that they don't even have to live through. And now they know that we know that. They scared because they know we want their seats. We want AOC to be speaker. Why not? Look at Nancy Pelosi. She's not strong. She's not strong enough. So yeah, it's a new era, and they just want to block us out and act like, oh, he have no grassroots movement in Michigan, in Detroit, especially what he said about reparations, and black people don't support him, or people don't support him. Period. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But they can fight if they want to fight. We gonna fight, because I'm so tired of them. I'm not about to you know what I'm saying, do what our parents did and just back down to these people just because they got money. Fuck that money. Excuse my language. But I don't care about the money. I don't care about, oh, well, like, what the hell did he say on the debate stage? Well, my son had health care, we flew him out. So you don't want that for everybody else? Kamala Harris said something, she had changed hers, but not for everybody else. And that's why I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know, but all these people just trying to drown out uh, the progressive vote and the progressive voice because they got a black woman vote, and that's gonna try to split it. But she's too corporate now. She's getting called out. Thankfully, you know, Joe Biden, he's gonna go out fighting, but it's a lot of money behind him. I think the Pete Buttigieg is just on a boat, just cruising. He know he ain't gonna win, but he got enough money to make it through a couple of debates. So we're gonna fight, and it's probably gonna be split between Warren and Bernie because hey, they want that woman, and we want Bernie, and I don't believe man, the white male is gonna vote for Warren. I don't believe the black male is gonna vote for Warren. I don't I don't know. She gonna get black women. I don't know about the suburban white women. So it's gonna. It's
Well,
probably gonna
by the polls right now, Bernie's doing better than her among African Americans. Bernie's doing better among working class people. Bernie's doing better among people making less than $50,000 a year. Bernie's doing better among Latinos. Things could change. He's also doing better by some polls, even among women. So, it's not to say she definitely is doing better than she was months ago, and she obviously has room to get higher. But I think the media, as we've seen on debate night, what they did to you guys, and what they're doing every day, trying to prop up Elizabeth Warren, it's very clear. It's not as much trying to prop her up as it's trying to prop up anybody that could take away from Bernie Sanders. And I believe if they're successful in attacking Bernie Sanders to the point he loses and falls behind, they're going to turn around and go after Warren right after that because they don't like Warren. She's still, a lot of her policies would not benefit CNN, their parent company,
I think they believe that Warren can be bribed. Warren can be manipulated, for real. I think that they believe that they probably can get to her if they throw just enough money at her. They can get their way with her. So that's probably why they like, you know what? Even if, because she was just a conservative, she was just a Republican. So it's kind of hard for me to trust her. That's like the ultimate flip flop to me, no matter what your policies are now. Because you basically just wiped your name clean. It's like, okay, I'm gonna start over. Like, hold on, what you just did in your past, like, what you voted for in the past,
Right. Thank you very much for taking the time, man. Let's keep in touch because I'm sure I'll be back in Detroit at some point in the next few months. I go back to Flint a lot, and there's a lot of things going on in Detroit that unfortunately do not get attention. Detroit used to be kind of a symbol for what America was. Not really ever for black people, but for, what once was the middle class. I know that really didn't happen in mass for African Americans, but Detroit, in a lot of ways, is symbolic of kind of the theft of the money, all from the lower class, the working class, the minorities, all the way to people like CNN anchors and the people above CNN anchors. And you could see it in the streets. I mean, some blocks in Detroit look worse than some areas in Baghdad. And thank you for taking the time and telling your story. Some people might look at this and be like, shocker, CNN is screwing Bernie, but it is still shocking, and it is still highly unethical for a news outlet to be basically acting as a campaign to.
This is why we don't need the debates. It need to be funded through us, not no news organization, none of that, because then they're gonna rent a cop and try to, enforce their powers on us and try to keep us down, try to oppress the voters. And that's no better than what Mitch McConnell is doing in any Republican. But it was really nice talking to you, man.
Thank you, man. Keep in touch. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.
Status Quo.